Our second storyteller, Jennifer Pepin, was born to an attorney ballerina and discovered a passion for both art and business. After experiencing stigma and prejudice in the workplace, Jen became determined to reframe how people think about mental health. 5 years ago, Jen opened the J. Pepin Art Gallery in the Pearl District. The gallery features artists, including herself, that are living with a mental illness. It is reframing the perception of mental illness by exhibiting the work of professional artists alongside their stories of their creative journeys. She's been awarded the Pathfinder Award by National Alliance for Mental Illness, the Mental Health Hero Award by Trillium Family Services, and the 2017 Hope Bringer Award by ASHA International. Jen has also been featured in news stories for her work to fight stigma. Welcome, Jen.
Hello. According to the World Health Organization, mental health is defined as a state of well-being in which every individual realizes his or her own potential, can cope with normal stresses of life, can work productively and fruitfully, and is able to make a contribution to his or her community. Tonight, I am here as someone living with a mental illness, leading a life with good mental health. Some people don't like being diagnosed and feel they're being labeled. For me, it was a relief. My family and I had an explanation and a plan to move forward. But that plan essentially included therapy and taking medications that would make everything better. Unfortunately, I learned it's not that simple. Medication is one piece of it, but one must also create a healthy lifestyle and good habits, including self-care and positive environments. It took me several years after diagnosis to figure this part out. In the meantime, I continued to pursue my dream of being in sales and marketing in the corporate world. I was driven. Some may even say a workaholic. But I would discover that the career I was striving for would end up being one of the most dangerous things for my health. The hours, the travel, the socializing, the erratic sleep pattern. But what made it most challenging was the lack of understanding I would experience. I found myself in environments where confiding that I was living with bipolar disorder had consequences, such as losing pay for too much time at the doctor, or comments or doubt about my abilities, and eventually not having my job. When I shared my struggles with mental health, instead of being faced with consolation and support, I was faced with misunderstanding and prejudice. It opened my eyes to the stigma that exists and how uneducated many people are about what it means to live with mental illness. 1 in 5 people experience a mental health condition. It can affect your friends, family, and colleagues. You can't assume what it looks like. I went for years without anyone in my company knowing. Sadly, the reason people don't know is because of the stigma created and fear of repercussions for simply having a mental health condition. According to the National Alliance on Mental Illness, 8 out of 10 workers with a mental health condition say shame and stigma prevent them from seeking treatment. They fear their boss would interpret it as a lack of interest or unwillingness to do the activity. It will go in their file and affect promotion opportunities. And a fear of being laughed at, not taken seriously, and being labeled weak. After attending the Depression Bipolar Support Alliance, it suddenly dawned upon me how much creativity was in that room, and yet also so much stigma people were experiencing. I decided at that time I wanted a space to reframe how people think about mental health, and so J. Pepin Art Gallery was born.
I didn't realize the stigma that came with mental illness until I was personally faced with it. When people ask me about the gallery, I say that we are like any other gallery in the Pearl District, which is a competitive art district. I open this space in hopes of showing the beauty that can come with it and provide hope by focusing on the positives. When somebody reads a statement from somebody else and feels better about their own mental health and more confident to talk about it, that's what drove me to open this. To show people that we can lead really healthy, productive, and creative lives.
Because of the support of family, friends, courageous artists, and the community, I'm proud to say that this year we will turn 5 years old. We've come a long way in the discussion around mental health. Recently, a letter that went viral that was a response from a boss to their employee taking a mental health day. The employee's note read, "Hey team, I'm taking today and tomorrow to focus on my mental health. Hopefully I will be back next week refreshed and back to 100%. Her boss's response came as a surprise, but was what one should say. "I just wanted to personally thank you for sending emails like this. Every time you do, I use it as a reminder of the importance of using sick days for mental health. I can't believe this is not standard practice at all organizations. You're an example to us all, and help cut through the stigma so we can all bring our whole selves to work." I love how he says whole selves. The World Health Organization defined health in its broader sense as a state of complete physical, mental, and social well-being, and not merely the absence of disease or infirmity. The fact it went viral as something so unusual shows there is still so much work to be done. Many business leaders assume an employee's mental health is none of their business, but an employee's mental health greatly affects his or her performance, and therefore a company's bottom line. According to the World Health Organization, the estimated cost to the global economy is $1 trillion per year in lost productivity. But treatment works. A report from NAMI, Massachusetts said 75% of those with mental health conditions like depression and anxiety experience reduced symptoms. 80% of employees who receive treatment report improved job satisfaction. It's essential to support employees' efforts to seek treatment for mental health issues. This could include allowing time off for appointments or supporting an employee's need to take on fewer projects while he adjusts to medication. But the most important part is to make it clear to employees that there will not be negative consequences for taking care of their mental health. Organizations that take a stance against stigma show they value their employees' overall well-being. This helps loyalty and retention and can create a positive reputation beyond as well. In a supportive work environment, disclosing a mental health condition is not viewed as a weakness, but rather it is considered a sign of strength. Because the truth is, we all have a mental health, just like we all have a physical health. And that is why businesses should not be afraid to talk about it. And that is why an employee should not be afraid to talk about it. That is why you and I should not be afraid to talk about it. Thank you.
And thank you, Jen. Mental health care, as Jen mentioned, is one of the biggest unmet needs of our time. Untreated mental illness has an enormous impact on our global economy, nearly $1 trillion every single year lost in productivity. Jen is a member of the ASHA Storytellers team, and she wants to help end the stigma surrounding mental illness and create a workplace culture where disclosing a mental health condition isn't considered a sign of weakness, and getting help is celebrated as a sign of strength. Creating a mentally healthy workplace boosts employee well-being, productivity, and profitability. It is a win-win-win for all.